Welcome to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Noman. How are you today, Noman?
I am fantastic, Mr. Nightfire. I'm excited for this matchup, man. I was thinking about it all freaking day.
Yeah, it is a hard one to keep off the mind. It's going to be real interesting to see what comes out of MAYHEM versus Globochem. Seriously high-ranked action just at the tail end of the season. It's exactly what you want to tune into and sort of prep yourself for the upcoming wild card, semifinal, all the good tournament action that we'll be seeing. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is something that I think. I don't know. One of these matchups, these get me so excited towards the end of the season, especially because this is like when everyone's dialed in. You know, this is when MMR is dialed in. This is when rosters are dialed in, when plays are dialed in from a full season of play. This is the last week or two of regular season play of Onward is some of the best Onward. Obviously, championships are great, so tune into those. But good stuff.
Yeah, it should be a pretty interesting series. I don't know what to expect out of MAYHEM. We got some time, so we might as well just kind of take a gander at the active rosters. Over on MAYHEM, we have Defilade, James Bauk, Let Wookie Win, Potato Bot, Technic, and Capitano. I mean, let's just talk about that roster. A couple of vets, but not really any household names.
Yeah, it's not a. I don't know. They spawned as part of another team. Right, they were Magnificent Bastards, if I'm not mistaken.
Stone Cold Killers.
Stone Cold Killers, that's the one. I got them confused even when I used to play them. But yeah, but I mean, Capitano's is a new player. I think they picked him up like from rookies. Like honestly, I think he was relatively new.
I mean, definitely is the only one that's played the one that's played the longest, and he's started in season 4. Everybody else on this team is, like you said, either a rookie like Cappy or they started in season 7, which was last season.
Yeah, they have made leaps and bounds in terms of improvement. Like whatever that practice that Defilade runs, it is working. You know, do not stop doing that, because if this is season 8 for them, you know, who knows? Season 9 and 10 is going to be pretty crazy if they keep this trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've only caught 1 or 2 games. I guess I've cast them a few times this season, but I never really paid attention to how green that team is. And I mean, you want to make that argument about it being difficult to get into the league if you're new. I mean, I don't know. I think MAYHEM would say otherwise, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is a testament to what, you know, setting aside random nonsense, just putting in the time. Like I see these players from MAYHEM and obviously from Globochem in the game all the time. Yeah. That is the key. You know, there's a lot of sort of this minutia that goes around of, oh, maybe this weapon will have us excel at this, or maybe we can use this to gain an advantage. But honestly, this team will show you, it just comes down to running the plays, practicing, and playing with your team. I think we're going to see a lot out of them in the next couple of weeks and months.
Still waiting on the teams to hop into a lobby so we can see what exactly we're going to be going into maps. But we also have a Globochem roster to take a gander at. We can talk about them. It's pretty, I guess you want to talk about household names. Pretty household, right? Thunder Pilot, Otto, Pants, Raffaello, Toast, Gattaca, Lionheart, a new addition, and Mixologist. I mean, that is a strong team. That is a team made out of players that have been around for quite some time. I anticipate a pretty strong performance from them today, but there's a lot on the line. This is rank 1 versus rank 7, and I don't know if they lose this. I'm not sure if they're going to dip out and drop out of that top 7.
Yeah, it would be a pretty precipitous fall. I mean, I think even if they suffered the worst of the worst and took a 15-0, I think they would have to most likely Yeah, I just don't think the drop would happen. Had the 8th place team, I believe that would be my own team, Blaze, had they picked up a win or a slightly less damning loss versus SMC, we may have had a higher MMR, so they potentially could have just been knocked low enough for us to surpass. But currently, I do not believe that they will be knocked out of that 7, those top 7 that are locked in.
Yeah, it does seem like they're pretty secure, but I mean, it'd be nice to get up in the in that top 7, right? Because that's all about seeding at the, once you get into the group stage, and where you're ranking at is going to determine who you're going to be going up against, what group stage you're going to be in. So it's always better to be higher up in the rankings. So it should be a fun match to see and watch as they duke it out. And we are in the lobby. We are getting ready for this first map. We can dive right into the pick bands.
Yeah, so I've got the bands here, and they are not super. So there's a bit of an asterisk, right, to our bands as well. But we'll go through the standard bands first. So Mayhem on their side, as their home team, chose to ban Suburbia. That is going to be kind of a surprising one, honestly. I feel like Globochem has historically been, you're hard-pressed to say weak, but definitely a little bit softer on Suburbia against certain teams. But Mayhem maybe just not feeling particularly confident on it today. And the Globochem side chose to ban out Subway, which again is that one doesn't surprise me as much. It can be sort of a troublesome map with an element of a bit of randomness or a bit of luck to it, just because of the many different approaches. And there is a sort of gentleman's agreement that was reached between these two teams, as we are playing on the new 1.7 build of Onward. There did seem to be some performance issues for some players on the Downfall map, so that one is not banned explicitly, but will likely not be chosen in this matchup. So 3 bans, more or less.
Yeah, and we are going to dive right into the action. Bazaar being the map of choice for Mayhem as we hop into map number 1, round 1. Curious to see just how Globochem defends and squares off against this Mayhem team unfolds.
Yeah, so Bazaar is the choice of Mayhem this time around, though I feel like on either side it would have been picked. I feel like Globochem would have easily picked into Bazaar as well. But it really just goes to show that the map is just that good. I mean, it just is balanced and has a lot of different approaches you can take, and it is probably one of the league's favorite maps, I would say, outside of just individual people.
Thunder about to get into a bit of an exchange of fire if Wookie keeps up this pace, and Thunder patiently waiting for him, grabs him out, and an early pickup for Globo puts him into a nice 5v4. There was also some shots fired, I think, over out towards Raf.
Yeah, I think he did take... those may have been stray bullets. I don't know that they were necessarily towards him. Actually, you know what? No, Defilade maybe sent a few down that way.
Or it was James Baux kind of shooting the wood, if you will, over there on the west side.
It's entirely possible. So 1 down now for Mayhem. Technic here is going to have to deal with this north approach. He does have somebody in that corner on Overwatch. It doesn't seem like they're going to be the type to peek. I actually can't really tell. Who's that?
Pants over there.
That is Pants. Yeah, Pants in that top corner. Most likely going to stay tucked in. Wait for the sound. Before, ooh, he is peeking that window a little bit. Will Technic win this out? He takes a couple of shots. Pants ducks out of the way. No dice.
You know, a couple of guys on Globochem are very good at fast dropping. And it's something that if you're not familiar with how they play, it can kind of throw you off. Technic may think he landed those shots there in the window just because of how quick Pants ducked down.
Yeah, that it's such a crazy thing to think that, like, if you can duck as quickly as you hear the sound of a weapon, you can make the enemy think you're dead.
Yeah.
That is a that's one of those skills that you don't think about, most of the time as a new player or a sort of average player. It's not one of those strategies you would think to practice, but I firmly would believe that Pants practices
Oh, yeah.
dropping to the floor.
Still on the opposite side of things, Raph and Potato getting dangerously close. Raph's been sitting here this entire game. I mean, ooh.
-1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice little nade there.
Meantime, a bit of an exchange of fire over on the west side of things. James continuing to distract. He's got a nice LMG clip there, so he can really dump rounds over the direction of Otto, and kind of limits what Otto is able to do and how far he's able to peek.
Yeah, he's out of the drum mag now, though. He's back to his standard reserves, likely -1 if he shares with his machine gunner. So he's used up his pre-fire. Now he's got to make this cross on the south. There's going to be 2, maybe 3 watching this south street if he tries to do it.
Wow, Pants has abandoned the north defense. Raph trading with Defilade on the corner. This is going to open up the approach from the north. Pants hears a nade and quickly begins to rotate back. Maybe he was just reinforcing, and he's now making sure that he covers the north side. The hard one to follow because he's always moving, and he moves so fast.
At least it's fast with a purpose.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for some players just moving around quickly because they're antsy, but it always feels like his are calculated. He's got a reason for moving through the doorways like he does, and there it is. Yep. There's the reason. He finds Technic on that approach in the north.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. He does. He's fast, and he looks faster than other players because you're right. He goes right to the spot. He goes right to the angle, and he picks up kills like that. James under fire from Mix. Got a nice angle there onto the west side. Down to 1.
It's just up to Mr. Potato Bot here. He's going to have to find his way through. The smoke coming out will give him a way to Mix. The comms have not yet come out. We haven't seen the hand of Mixologist reach for the radio yet. That's it right there. It looks like check the tablet, click the radio. And now he is aware. Potato Bot on the approach through. Just barely missing that window. Will he be ready for Mix's position? He's not. And the first round of Bazaar goes to Globochem here on their defensive hold.
Nothing too wacky or wild getting thrown into the mix there. Pretty standard approach, pretty standard defense out of both teams. But that's kind of how the start of these things end up working, right? Especially with a bit of a finale, if you will, to the season. You want to make sure you're going for those wins. You're poking and prodding and assessing the situation. And
I think what I've learned in the sort of short relative time that I've been casting and playing is you can't give too much weight and you can't really punish too much in those first couple of rounds of the first map. You know what I mean? You're kind of like shaking off your warm up. You're kind of getting the jitters out. You're sort of figuring out what the enemy team is going to be like. Are they aggressive? Are they slow? Are they crawling everywhere? Are they sprinting everywhere? You kind of feel everybody out in those first couple rounds. And once you sort of get towards the back half of the first map, you really start to feel what the game is going to be like. And then I think that's what really turns the players on. And that's kind of what that felt like to me. It felt like Mayhem was poking and prodding. Where can I make it? Where are they checking? Where are they not checking? What kind of buildings are they going to be tucked into? And I'm curious if that knowledge is going to help them in those the back half of this map, those rounds.
if anything, one thing they could take away there is that Lobo is not afraid to kind of get up into the face with a defensive move. You saw Thunder pretty far forward. To be up and get that early pick like he did, that's definitely unexpected, I would think, out of a team like Globochem. See if that kind of continues, if they do continue to try and throw off the pacing of this Mayhem team by throwing little odd ducks operation like that. See how Mayhem does on the offense as we hop into round number 2, map 1.
Defense. Mayhem.
Oh, you're right.
But yes. I'm curious to see what kind of defense they take up. I was taking note of Globochem's, and theirs was relatively standard in the positions you would expect. The rotations were what was different, the way that they had shifted players when they lost 1 or 2. But now we're seeing the Globochem push, and it's a lot more direct, a lot more controlled than Mayhem's. Mayhem's was a spread, a pretty wide one at that. And we're seeing Globochem sort of stay to this 3-2 positioning where they've got 3 in mid, pushing up to northwest courtyard, and 2 trying to break off and head to the southwest. And we'll see what Pants does, as he's kind of the outlier here, taking up his position in blue room.
One thing you'll notice is teams always check the angles they defend from. Mixologist and Pants very wary of a potential defender inside this first room. They had eyes trained on it. Otto also was looking, so kind of an interesting thing to note when you watch teams play. They're always going to be... They typically check the spots they defend from.
Yeah, I mean, and that it just comes naturally, right? Like, hey, I don't want to die into the same place that I was just killing people. What a silly situation that would be if I wasn't checking my own spot. But it is also that there are just really strong, sort of intro plays. I think of it in terms of chess, right? There's opening moves that are stronger than others. And it's like that with some of these maps in the defensive positions. There are certain defensive positions that are so strong that if done right, you have to be really, really careful, make sure they don't catch you out early. And that aggressive push into the eastern side of that northwest courtyard is one of those plays.
Nick's just missing Defilade, peeking his head up on the stairs. Tips across night.
I would make the foghorn sound here, but I don't think I have that.
Phone in Parrot for that.
Yeah, I don't have that queued up, sadly.
Kind of akin to a beginner's-esque style of play. They're all kind of just lingering around, Thunder and Raph, just waiting around here, waiting for that north rotation to safely get into position. I mean, Mix has been on these stairs this entire round for the last 2 minutes at least, and shots finally do come out. First from Otto.
Definitely something for Bob Block.
So now we're starting to see that encircling. We see the smokes come out. We see the offense starting to constrict a little bit. The only difference here is they haven't found those early picks. Mayhem has been able to sort of stay alive.
Ooh, Raph missed so many shots there onto James. Somehow he stays alive in the window. That's something you don't typically see from Globo, missing shots like that. We'll see if Otto can find the frag on the Defilade as Wookie picks off Mix on the north.
That is the first pick going the way of Mayhem. 2 minutes left. Defilade finds a second in Auto as he pushes down through kill room there. It's going to leave Globochem with 3 and less than 2 minutes left on the clock. This is not something I'm used to seeing, but also not something I would count against Globo just yet. Although Pants going down in the north makes it a 5v2.
Huh. And not quite synced up plays. Thunder and Raph are still pretty far back on the south side of that OBJ, but they push. They're kind of super exposing themselves with this angle they've chosen. What they opt to do. I don't know. Raph was in position to really push forward and get into an aggressive spot, but I guess maybe because they didn't find any kills on that push that they decided to back off and reassess. Well, you're right. This is something we don't typically see from Globo, having to sort of bounce back. and try and figure out what they can do in such a huge disadvantage 2v5.
Thunder Pilot does find that first pick for the defense, and now they're starting to push in. They've only got 30 seconds. Potato Bot goes down as well, but James will find Raph from across the street, and Thunder's got 27 seconds here. He does find one.
What? Oh,
Technic just missing those shots. He's got to stay tucked in. Wookie picks up James, but they got to rotate back to OBJ. There's 12 seconds left. Thunder has to try to cap this. They're all running together. All three out on it. James does go down. Technic continues to hold the corner. 2 seconds left. Wookie rushes out. He does find Thunder. And Mayhem hold on, but...
wow. What an awkward end there. Thunder... just very Pants-esque, you know, the sprint dance back and forth after he takes shots, making it pretty hard for Mayhem to dial in. And he almost made that comeback happen. He was one shot away, one kill away from putting Globo up 2-0, but Mayhem hold on, tie things up nicely.
Yeah, that is going to be a clippable play. Thunder honestly would have been probably play of the month had he done it.
Oh yeah,
that buzzer beater. But Wookie just able to catch him as he pushes in those final seconds.
I mean, you said it, but they were clumping. It was like they were making it easier for Thunder to just nail all of them in a quick burst. And man, I mean, imagine if he had a nade and he could have tossed it on the corner. You know? Yeah. Just a little airburst pop over the top of that courtyard. Get the people inside, get the people outside. Done and dusted. Who needs to cap? But a good hold there by Wookie in the end, finding the shot and securing that first defensive round. So we're into 2 Volk rounds so far. We'll see how the next objective, which is the South Center Street or Humvee or Blue Room objective, whatever you call it, whatever your flavor of the month is. That Center South objective is next. Globochem on defense. I mean, exactly what Mayhem need. They get themselves on the board with the Volk round, but man, it was close. You got to kind of I don't know about reassess, but just think about what the panic really did to your defense there, and try and not let that happen again, because wow, that was almost a miraculous comeback from Thunder.
Yeah, and just to highlight, I mean, at one point that round was 5v2 in favor of the defense. 5v2. You can never let your guard down with these top tier teams. You know, for just a split second, you think you got them because you've got the advantage, and folks like Thunder can punish you very quickly for that kind of assumption.
Raph testing out the infamous impenetrable window just to make sure that this new patch that we're on didn't change anything. And important we mentioned that his pants picks off Defilade, that we are on the new build, which has sort of, I guess the community would argue, has nerfed the shield a little bit.
Yeah, they've definitely added some weight to the shield, or I should say perceived weight to the shield, which creates a bit of a drag effect when you utilize it. Yeah, I have heard from other more experienced shield players that it, certainly is not as easy to use, but still capable of making plays. So I can't imagine the players like Raph and the Man and Noko and all those folks who I know use the shield regularly will give up on it, but definitely will come with a new set of challenges.
I like Globo's setup. They've managed to get Pants to a pretty dangerous position over here in the east, and Thunder's also pretty forward. Not often that you see players kind of get out and peek from these angles, and it really does make it harder to apply that pressure up this lane. Like, Thunder's position could really wreak some havoc if they try and push, and he's got the ability to check both, out his left and right side, so it's a nice position to kind of hold this down.
Yeah, it's got good coverage. He's tucked in. Wookiee won't be able to see him here. Ooh, he does find one there as Technic pushes out across the west side of Bazaar. Now Wookiee, trained in on those shots, going to be looking to find the refrag, but Thunder will most likely stay tucked.
You gotta worry. He doesn't know he has to worry about it, but Pants is over there in that corner. That's gonna be Wookiee's #1 threat. Does seem wary of someone potentially being over here. He's been slow crawling his way up to Pants. Ability.
I mean, unless there was comms coming out, I cannot imagine that he knows Pants is here. Although this level of caution is pretty unusual. He's checking, and all the while he's losing teammates. Losing daylight, as they say. James Boak going down to Mixologist's gunfire. Wookiee now hearing Pants' rotation. Now they're just sort of...
Yeah.
They're going to play the sound game with each other here. Who makes what sound and who rushes where? Pants going to give up a little bit more ground. Wonder if he's like trying to set up a little... Ooh, Potato Bot. Getting a nice kill there on Thunder. Does find him in the end. Thunder not tucked in enough.
Potato's in a dangerous spot. Also grabs Otto. That opens up objective quite a lot. He needs to get inside blue room, tuck himself in. In the meantime, Wookiee can get fortunate and pick off Pants, who's completely dropped.
Oh, Pants is gone. Pants backed all the way out. Wookiee has lost the scent, as they say, and now Pants will be a bit closer to home. Exactly, I think, what his teammates would have wanted from him on losing those two defenders. Potato now in blue room. Seeing if he can catch an angle here on Raph. Just misses him as he pushes through. Raph was on the outside.
Oh, and the quick peek in a trade somehow. Potato managing to get those shots off onto Raph. Now Wookiee comes in, confirms one. Pants is going to have to rotate back towards objective. Actually, he won't as Mix denies entry. Gets Globochem the lead 2-1.
Was definitely a solid play there, though. I mean, that could have worked in Mayhem's favor. Mix, you know, I feel like Pants would definitely have made it on time, but I don't know. Mix going down, maybe if that wasn't a trade, I feel like that first pick wasn't a trade with Raph. I feel like they could have definitely had a good chance at maybe not capping it, but for sure setting up in a position where you can catch defenders rotating back to the objective and finding your win that way. But a close round nonetheless, and Globochem will continue to hold on as we go into a third Volk round win so far in map 1.
A sub from the mouth. Yeah. Want to support the casters and the VRML. Up in that Twitch Prime sub or bits. Always appreciated. Helps to go to fund the VRML and what you enjoy so much.
Yes, indeed.
Taking a little gander here in the mini window, just observing all the new tweaks, additions, all these textures.
I mean, there's all kinds. Yeah. There's all kinds of new things all over the place. We've got our new assets out. We've got the new Onward patch. I mean, it's just new, right? We're getting to the end of the year. Out with the old, in with the new, is what we say. True.
I like it, and I look forward to what this patch will bring. Future of the of Onward and the VRML. Praise coming in from Mayhem towards us casters. Do appreciate you. Up into round number 4. Still hear the gears grinding in my brain to do that math.
It's a Sunday. We got a whole season under our belt. We're allowed a break, folks. Jeez. Math is hard, as I used to say when I started casting. Math is freaking hard. All right, the defense from Mayhem a little bit more tucked in than Globochem's. Globochem's, we saw that sort of widespread across the southern part of the map, basically even spread throughout. Mayhem choosing to cluster a little bit tighter around the OBJ, but an overall actually pretty strong formation. Kind of like this formation. It's like a little diamond with a flank check. It's good. I like this. I'm excited to see how Globochem tries to crack this nut, as it were.
I think the only potential weakness here is a heavy smoke play up the middle. They can really get the good utility out, deny some vision. Gonna be chaotic, but certainly seems like a decent option or plan of approach. We'll see what Raf and Otto decide to do. Globochem's being very patient with their moves this first map.
This objective, to me, has always been really funny. It's one of the only ones, maybe with the exception of Kayat, on this map, that is weakest at the front.
Yeah.
Like at the very, very front is the weak point of it. Usually you see, flanks being the winner for most objectives. This one, no. If you come up the front, you got a pretty good shot at getting it. But yeah, like you said, the confusion has to be there. The smokes have to be there. The sort of coordination has to be there for that to work. You can't just run around willy-nilly. Hoping to get this cap.
Ants dumping. Oh, well, could have been a pretty good smoke onto James, but it just gets deployed. Not an advantageous way, although it is denying vision on James in a different direction. Oh, it doesn't fool him. A nice toss of a nade catching Pants in the center.
Very nice toss. Thunder rotating to get that res as Mixologist here crosses in the west. He does make it across. James not fortunate enough to snag that peak, despite the fact that that smoke coverage was less than stellar.
Yeah, there was definitely a big gap there. But he was a bit distracted, making sure he was checking his other angles. Res coming out there onto Pants in the center. Thunder rotating around. Interesting
Development here in the west as Mixologist crossed this alleyway. He was actually able to spot out and call out Potato Bot without taking any shots or re-peeking him or anything. He just hunkered down, gave the call out. Oh, and Pants.
Yeah. It's interesting. Mix wasn't supporting. Mix could have supported him with shots from that angle, drawn Potato's attention. Oh, Potato was tucked in the corner. He was a nice, very thoughtful spot. Definitely picking off Mix there. Here's the push. Thunder's going to come up right from the center, and that's the best line of approach.
So they got two downs traded. Otto finds Potato Bot on that rotation, looking to try to finalize Mixologist. James is going to get the res, but he's off objective. Thunder Pilot over the top now. They do get that res, and they've got to rotate back. Is Thunder going to catch James as he rotates back through? He's a little too slow on it. And the nade on the backside by Wookiee, missing one as well.
Thunder's in objective, has one, turns and burns, catches Wookiee in a trade. Not enough for just Thunder, and now it all does come down to the pair, Otto and there's Raf.
Yeah, Raf, and also Mix, who's still alive, just not the right kind of alive. Shots do ring out. Raf's position is burnt. Will he continue to push through, or is he going to find his way out on the street? Looks like Kittlebot did find Mix.
Cut down that open line of communication.
40 seconds left. Raf able to get out of that position. Finally free and clear. Can he find Potato Bot on the inside? He does. Defilade now hearing those shots 25 seconds left. Technic's going to find Otto on the backside. Now it's a 1v2.
19 seconds. Raph picks off one. Can he punch the code in time? Globo could be taking map 1. And it looks like they are, as he has all the time in the world to enter the code. And in a super, came right up the center. Globochem cap OBJ and push up their lead for map 1.
Yeah, that was a great play there. Definitely just got a little antsy. He heard those footsteps. He heard Raph approaching in the front, but he got a little too Jonesy for that kill. Popped out. Raph was able to spot that out, get the kill, and a fantastic cap there to end map 1. Wow, indeed.
A series that was really quite back and forth. Mayhem doing a good job to get everybody rezzed after the chaos there. You know, they were bouncing back on the defense, looking strong, but then a couple of picks go the way of Globochem, and wow, just great rotations there. Raph to be able to get out there and push out from where he was trapped in blue room, and to find those kills and enter the code. That's a clip itself right there.
Yeah, it was a great heads-up play by him. Just from the initial missing his shots in the blue room to recover like that, and not only to recover, but to end up capping, is really a hallmark of why these teams are where they are in these standings. It's a great play on both sides, but Globochem strong on Bazaar this time, and we'll see what map Globochem decides to pick into, as it is map 2 now, and will be their choice. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun on this one, my friends, as we are getting into Tanker. Will be map 2.
This is a pick Globo have been gravitating towards more and more in the later half of this season. Seen them pick it. They're comfortable on it. They have good strategies of attack and defense. Mayhem are going to have to be on a pretty tight game if they want to take this one against Globo. They were looking good on Bazaar, but ultimately that went in the way of Globo as well. So
yeah, this map it just favors the coordinated. It really does. There doesn't really ever seem to be an advantage based on Volk or Marsoc for most of these, despite the fact that Volk can make all of their objectives very quickly and set up a pretty wide perimeter. But really, I think when it comes down to it, in most of the games I've watched and played, it comes down to those guys that are aware of where their teammates are, they're aware of where the enemy is, and they know how and when to make their pushes, right? It's all about creating havoc, moving as a unit, and capitalizing on it. And Globochem is, almost bar none in that category. We'll see if Mayhem does have some up their sleeve, though. They have not yet played a tanker against each other, at least not in regular league play. So this will be the first time these two teams meet here as well. So interesting to me, like the hallmark of Mayhem in my sort of experience has been that long range, that methodical play, those larger maps really controlling the pace. And to see them play this like mid-range map and now have to go on this smaller, tighter, much more frenetic style of map, I'm curious to see how they adapt. I'm curious to see if we see the same overarching skill level across all players in a map that is maybe outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah, this will be a good test for sure. Just kind of, I feel like there's definitely a difference in skill set of the teams in the top 5 versus the top 5 through 10. It's like there's different tiers of skill, and although those tiers have been getting closer and closer together in terms of players being good, it still does exist. So maybe this is just kind of Mayhem getting a taste of what a team like Globochem is capable of. And yeah, you're absolutely right. They're gonna have to ramp up their communication, and make sure they stay diligent on their plays if they want to grab this second map. We are getting right into it.
Indeed we are. Round 1 of this second map. The defense is going to be working with the downstairs center objective. Cargo hold objective. The defense is in on it. I did see a shield coming out from Raf there. No surprise on this map.
Does look a little thinner. Objectively say so.
Yeah, I suppose a little skinnier.
Yeah.
It seems taller though.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Which is great for me. I'm slender and tall, but my model doesn't really show that, I guess.
Sure, yeah, that's one of these days we'll get. We got custom maps. We'll get custom avatars soon enough. Trust me. But yeah, we'll see how this works. You know what? Can you use that second handle on the shield? Is that like a grabbable thing? You know what I mean? Like turn it sideways over the top of a window or something, and just set it up as like a little firing. That'd be pretty sweet. Get on a Devs. James finding Thunder. Not quite tucked in enough. And now Raf returning fire.
I think Raf was trying to increase that how much coverage was there for Thunder to tuck into, and I don't know, there was a gap between them, and he got picked off either way. Real nice shot from James.
Yeah, the rest of Globo still getting set up. Pants and Mix on either flank there on the sides of the Mayhem defense, and Raf and Otto still in the back. Otto rotating all the way back through, trying to find his way into the fray again. And this defense is so interesting. Somebody gets like a good nade or two in here.
Yeah.
This could be real dicey.
But at the same time, it's pretty objective heavy, you know. Like everybody's inside here, everybody's defending OBJ, nobody's peeking out along these long lanes and exposing themselves to potential kill. And there's the first nade. Getting Wookie, Pants, and a team kill. Oh.
I take back everything I said about coordination.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
I haven't seen that.
I mean, honestly, with the defensive setup, you know they've got to be in here. Pants with the rush, finds one, finds two, he finds a third! And the third will trade him out. Pants just looks like he just got bored, you know? Got in there and got those three.
He caught everybody reloading. Every single person was caught off guard with their pants down. They were looking at their gun or checking their pad or just unaware. Now it's all up to Technic in a 1v2.
Yeah, not the worst odds to be left with after a rush like that, but you still got to deal with the shield. Raf now rotating around to the other side. Otto pinned behind the barrels, but he's not going to be ready for Raf, as Raf is going to find the backside of Technic here any moment. Oh, maybe. No, Technic does spot him. The gun comes out. Technic does find the kill. It's a 1v1. Otto, the only one left for Globochem. Will they be able to find this round on offense? Start off strong, or will Technic be able to hold it out for Mayhem and grab them? Probably the most unlikely round of Tanker this season.
Yeah. So it should be 4v1 right now. You know, Pants to be able to run in and pick off three like he did. He just stormed. He went. Everybody was watching angles. He just somehow managed to go right in between everyone and do a quick 360 and murder three people.
God, we played what, like 5 rounds, and there's like 4 clips of the year already in this matchup.
Yeah, it's a good indicator of what's to come. The tail end of this month, you know, when we get into that group stage in the semis, we're just gonna see some real fun action.
Definitely excited for a Technic. I mean, Otto, I think, is just, he's giving him the heart attack on purpose. I feel like this is not, you know, Otto very much could have pushed into any one of these tunnels. He's like, I'm just gonna let him cook a little bit. I'm gonna let him stew for a minute. And because this is the most stressful objective to have to defend. You know, you're constantly running around. You're making sure they're not behind this box or the other box.
And Otto can hear him scrambling inside objective room. You know, he knows he's got him panicking.
Such an interesting play here. I mean, he's only got 35 seconds, so he is running into his own time here. "22 seconds left. Onno's gonna have to start moving soon. Technic needs to tuck in and just pick an angle and hope as best he can. He should have picked up that shield. Sad he didn't pick up that shield.
Oh, Otto doesn't grab it either. He doesn't need it. He peeks out quick, and a burst of fire grabs Technic. Globo take the round.
You know what is so painful about that is he picked the right angle. He just didn't have his gun up on it. That's what's so rough about that. Otto just with the quicker snap, but Peeker's advantage is definitely a thing, and you want to minimize it as much as you can when you're in those final seconds. Having that gun ready can make, you know, exactly that kind of difference.
Tanker kicking off with some heat, for sure. And, I mean, that's what Mayhem needed to do. They needed to bounce back after losing that first map 4-1. Put up a good, solid start to this map on Tanker, and I think they've done that. Now they have a tall order ahead of them. They have to grab themselves a Mayhem, a Marsoc round, Mayhem round. They'll have to do that too, but they'll have to get a Marsoc round to really keep themselves in the series. Otherwise, I fear another 4-1, 4-0 map for Globo.
Yeah, and this is a tough one to find your momentum on once you've lost it. There's just so few. There's literally less room for mistakes. It's a small map. Yeah. You know, you gotta make your plays. You gotta make them count. And we'll see if Mayhem can bounce back from that. I mean, honestly, that was close. That was pretty dang close. I can't fault them for anything they did there. Pants just had the correct heads up play in that situation.
See how Globo defends this objective as we hop into round number 2 of the series. I expect them to be peeking some angles, and what they're actually going to do as well is send Thunder, probably go upstairs and try and be an early threat.
So the Globochem defense, pretty much the polar opposite of the Mayhem. They are widespread on the inside. They're not tucked in inside the room, so there really is not a lot of opportunity for a Pants-esque play. We'll see if it's
ready for Thunder up here.
Oh, but Thunder gives up the angle a little too early.
I don't think Technic saw it.
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't. He's going to die anyway. And there it is. Thunder finds the first pick. Mayhem down to 4.
Look at how cautious Mayhem is, though. They're aware of how Globo can really put their pedal onto the pedal to the metal and just apply hard early pressure as defense. Defilade and Wookiee are back. I mean, Wookiee's back in spawn, making sure nobody's going to rotate around behind him.
Just a couple of suppressing shots from Pants, keeping the offense honest. Sure they're not up to no good. Mayhem, I'm the one position I really I can't endorse in this particular situation is Wookiees up here in their spawn. I just can't remember a play in recent history that had Globochem pushing across the map. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not the kind of team that will standard flank and they have the capability to do so. You know, they choose to stay more centralized so that they're equidistant from the objective. Their rotations don't have to take as long, and they're not putting themselves in unnecessary risk. So committing one to the backside there is a little new for me. But Thunder here spots out Wookie, and Wookie calls him out as well, as they're just kind of on the other side of bulletproof glass from each other. Why does Thunderpilot's voice sound like he's actually sprinting?
Out of breath.
He's out of breath.
Meanwhile,
like
underground, Belk and Potato deploying some smokes. A curious smoke deploying. Raph getting aggressive, gets one. Nade's out there on the corner, isn't it?
It was indeed. Another nade out, but tucked in on the barrels, and Potato lives to shoot another day. But a nice little push there by Raph. Otto finds another in Wookie as he pushed down the stairwell here. That's going to leave 2 up, and now Globochem loses 1 as Raph tries to get cheeky again.
Rotating around the backside. They could have a decent 2-3-man pinch here. They just sync up and coordinate it.
I feel like Potato Bot will find one here, although if Pants will be the one that clears it. Ooh, a couple of shots ring out. Potato Bot sends a few rounds down. He gets out of the angle, but he re-peeks it. Oh, that's the advertisement for not re-peeking. Right there, Pants finding another, and now it's a 1v4. Defilade on the backside is going to find Otto, but that's going to give his information away, and Thunder, with the trade, will get Globochem their 2nd point here on the map, and they are off and running, folks. Can Mayhem find themselves around here and stop the bleeding? I don't know. NightFiree, can they? I'm going to pose that question to you because the audience can't answer.
I don't know. It's going to be hard to do if you're down 1. It does look like there was a DC at some point in that push. And even though it looked like they had 3, it was only 2. And that's definitely going to hurt you against a team like Globo. It's an unfortunate thing to have happen. But I don't know. Globo's a team that works so well with momentum. If anything, I would expect some aggression here. You know, some real hard pushing on both Marsoc and then on Volk as well. So Mayhem are just going to have to be ready for the fast play.
Fast play is what you definitely need on this map. You need a variety, though. You know what I mean? There is a slow play mentality that works here. We've seen it from the likes of Boss Fight and the Beginners and Silent Purge to an extent. I've seen a few good slow plays, but all of those teams also had a fast play. There are certain objectives that you just cannot be slow on, and so far I have not yet seen a fast Mayhem play here. I think you're right. That is going to be the thing they will need. Oh.
Huh. Seems like a broken round start.
Oh, I think they didn't turn off the auto start timer before the player rejoins, so we may just be here for a short, perhaps we'll go to a short intermission while we wait for the players to return. And
sounds like a plan to me. We'll be right back with this high tier action. Globochem in the lead, first map winning 4-1, and now they're pushing this 2-0. Don't go anywhere. Second map is still underway.
Happening right now.
oh man, this could be so much anxiety.
Playing along with Wookie.
by Potatoes, the first one down, but it takes them all down. We are back. Mayhem has their 5th back into the mix. No subs or trickery going on here. See now how they defend.
Yeah, they have got such a tough objective. They've got 2 tough objectives in a row. I feel like those upstairs ones can be a little bit more 50-50, but that basement one and this captain's quarters one are both.
Yeah.
They just favor experience, you know. If you know the right way to cause the confusion and punch in. I feel like Globochem really does have the advantage in this sort of randomized role of objectives. But it's not over yet. I mean, Mayhem's got 2 rounds to play with technically before things are all over for them. And that is a lot. As our resident caster Trip in the chat says, Tinker is definitely a comeback map.
Take a look at Mayhem's defense. Every single person on this front line is using a window that can't be shot through. James actually getting aggressive peeking, catching out Mix.
The call out came in that Mix died, and the first thing I hear was, what was he doing? I feel like he's going to hear about that in the tent later, as now Globochem down to 4. The nade rolling out. Oh, my goodness. Close to Technic there. But he tucks in behind the door, and he is safe.
And that's how you get rid of these defenders, right? You got to thread nades into the right locations. You got to put some frags into these doorways or apply smoke to deny them vision out those windows, and that does look like it's going to be the plan for Globochem, although they're not getting the right angles on those smokes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, those are messy smokes.
Oh.
Not used to seeing those. Raphael has a nade out in front, does identify it, tucks out. Yeah, these are really not good. Pants and James will trade out in that smoke, and now Auto will have to get that confirmed before Wookie picks up the res if they want to maintain that trade for trade. And Potato Bot looking for the res. He's not going to find it as Auto pushes in. Gets that pick. Wookie with the refrag, and Thunder with the re-refrag. Technic finds Raph on the inside, and he does find Thunder as well as he pushes through, and Mayhem do find their first round here on the defense in a resolution that took about 13 seconds.
I mean, that was Mayhem getting a little bit of, wouldn't say getting, I would say aggressive. Those positions are very far forward. You know, they're very much in the face of the approaching offense. And, I mean, they duked it out and ended up coming out ahead. Now we'll see if they can kind of push something quick here on the Marsoc side of things. With this objective, it's kind of hard to play it fast, though.
Yeah, you need to... Smokes are almost a must. You really can't make it through the upstairs without smoke of some kind. And as we saw there, Globochem's was less than ideal across the board. And they ended up just kind of having to push through and punish where they could. And it wasn't enough. I'm curious if the smokes do land properly, what Mayhem's approach will look like. Because they clearly are. It's going to be one of those situations where we talked about on Bazaar where you're checking the spots that you defend from. Will they be defending from the same spots? I guess is the better question.
Yeah. You would think that they would have, smokes ready and a plan to approach this objective. I mean, there's always the underground option, but it's like Subway used to be. When you try and make that underground approach, you know, you only have one point of exit to get out to this objective, and it's to come out from these stairs.
Yeah, and those stairs are, it's like whack-a-mole. You know, it's like you just have people pop out and you just shoot them in the head. It's not conducive to a sort of tactical approach. It is good if you know there's maybe just one left and you know he's on the far side or whatever of the boat. But there's no current utility that you could really use to give yourself an advantage as you push through that stairwell. So although I do wonder if like a drone, I feel like somebody brought like the sniper drone and flew it up those back stairs. I wonder. Yeah, that'd be pretty tough. I mean, you'd probably get shot down pretty quick if anybody's even close to watching that. But
and that's a good way of kind of leading your charge, right? Pull a drone in for the audio, have it be buzzing down there.
Yeah,
send
the audio
kind of come up, then you can sprint after it. So you bait shots to out on the drone, and then as those shots are on the drone, you come up. That's
actually not a bad idea. You're welcome, teams. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
7th and below.
Better see it on the wild card.
Yeah, exactly. We got Tanker's going to be in that rotation. And if I don't see it at least once, I'm going to be super bummed. All right, the teams are ready. It is 5v5. I had to make sure.
Yeah, I know. Took a bit for that UI to update it. Is all in order as we hop into round number 4. Second map.
I'll see what Mayhem's approach is.
Now give me a high five.
2 machine guns, 3 assault rifles on the Mayhem side. So there's going to be quite a few bullets. I saw some SA-80 trading out. Raph and James here are going to meet real early, I think. Raph tucked in. The nade being cooked. James, not aware. Raph finding that early pick with that aggression.
Mm-hmm. This is that aggressive style of defense that I was talking about that Global will break out from time to time. They'll just apply pressure so fast and so hard in positions that you wouldn't expect in a league match. You wouldn't think with this objective that Raph's going to... Why would you? You know, you have the perfect defense behind bulletproof glass where you can see the approach. There's no need to be up here, but it certainly caught one off guard.
Yeah, and what was also interesting about it is that Raph knew exactly where he could get to quietly and quickly, tuck in, and just wait to hear sounds. And James was completely caught off guard. And that is practice, right? That is running that route over and over and over again until you know exactly how far the offense can get. It's a great heads-up play. We'll see if Raph can find any more here as Potato Bot and Technic both are now on the other side, and that is going to blind Technic, it looks like. No, maybe. Yeah, a little bit it did, because he starts taking shots on Raph, but a little too late as he comes out that door, and the trade will come out. Raph's life for 2 of Mayhem's. That was a pretty fair and honest deal.
Yeah, when you put someone like that out in that position, just getting one is kind of your goal, just to be able to get yourself an early pick, and for him to find two, that's more than his worth up there in that forward position. Now Mayhem down. Bit of a challenging conundrum. How much utility do they have left? What's available for them to approach from this front top side? Thunder is still in a pretty advanced position as well, where he can maybe catch out Potato just kind of nonchalantly moving through here. Where are the smokes? Oh, there go the smokes. One dropping off the map.
It's funny, you were casting that, and I was behind Pants watching through the window, and he was calling out, "Oh, they messed up one of their smokes." Like the information is coming through, as if they had their own casters. Pants calling out.
And I mean, that's the next level of communication that you have to have if you want to be a top tier team like this. We saw it in the last matchup as Thunder takes some shots on the Wookiee. But communication, so key. Pants calling everything out. Thunder knows right where everybody is. He knows Potato Bot's here. He knows Wookiee's around the other side. A botched C4 placement forces him to rotate around, and now he's completely flashed. He may C4 himself here.
Ooh, Potato Bot doesn't peek the corner fast enough, but Thunder sticks the butt out and gets punished for it. Potato Bot will find that kill. That makes it a 3v2. Mayhem. Geez, almost a team kill.
Pants, yeah, very aware of all this.
Oh, and there's the mistake from Wookiee peeking out. Pants already on the rotation. Potato misses the shots. Pants re-peeks. Potato does win that trade. The confirm comes out. Mix not able.
Just in time. Mix reacting so quick off that down. He was going for that res nearly before Potato could confirm it.
And there it is. Mix IDs Potato Bot's position. The smokes start coming out. Will they land right? Is really the question here. Enough to blind Mix.
Oh. Yeah. It is for now. Yeah, Mix has no idea on this rotation.
He's going to have to deal with Auto, though. Potato's in range for being heard by Auto, and Auto's trained in on the window. Potato not ready, and Globo will ride that to their third point. Dang, good play.
That was despite Mayhem being caught out early and going down early. That was a nice rally back for them. Potato finding himself with a couple of kills nearly put his team into a position where they could have tied this thing up. And I mean, I still have faith that Mayhem can grab this defensive round, and then who knows what their options will be next Marsoc approach. It's certainly an objective that's capable.
I was gonna say it's a cap away. Cap away keeps the loss at bay. You know, I think that's the saying. I think I just made that saying up, and it's a real saying now. But seriously though, the defense can hold. We've seen them hold once already. The new objective is definitely challenging, the upstairs east, but yeah, if they can hold it by some miracle, Globochem has the same sort of disadvantage of it being a very fast and aggressive style of play objective to take, and who knows what can happen. We'll have to see. It's all going to come down to Mayhem holding this defense first, though.
Everything is on the line for Mayhem here. The series go into the way of Globochem. All they do is take this Marsoc round.
All right, looks like Defense is largely going to be upstairs. They're going to send one Wookiee and... Well, actually, they are going to stay upstairs. And a quick trade right off the bat. Potato Bot will take down Raph, and the res will be available here. Oh, and the confirmed nade might catch too. Oh, it does. Oh, my goodness. Pants with the just 200 IQ play there, throwing the confirmed nade onto the position of his teammate, finds the rotating defender.
Oh, what a great flash right into the face of Thunder. Let's pause his advance just a bit. If it was a nade, it would have really been something. Mix is coming in from underneath. His approach could be caught out by Defilade. Mayhem still have a decent grasp on objective, but smokes are out.
Yeah, these smokes need bodies inside of them. They need bodies close. There is... Somebody just went through those red and greens. James would have been too late to catch the cap already. James is checking it. He misses Pants as he pushes around the corner. Mix will find Defilade on that north side. I'm sorry, south side.
Oh, how Pants didn't see James there. Totally out. Gets Thunder on a rotation. It has drawn Pants' attention in a quick snapshot from James. He does win the trade. The rotation from Wookiee doesn't get himself killed there, but Mix had the shots.
Mix was throwing that smoke, and he had to kind of just whip it away from him to go for his gun. Misses the shots anyway. And now Wookiee is between a rock and a hard place here. Otto coming up the backside. Mix watching this container. The nades come, or the flash comes out. Would have been a good play had Mix not given up on that angle. And I mean, Otto really can just kind of walk in and cap here. Mix should be able to see Wookiee on this push. He does indeed. And Globochem will take the map and the series here in map 2. Oh, you could cut that tension with a knife.
I just wonder what the effects on MMR are going to be for Mayhem here. You know, like we said, they are ranked 7. I don't think they're going to drop to ranked 8, but this is a big loss so far. You know, 8-2 overall is not ideal.
No, it is definitely going to hurt. I cannot imagine a scenario in which they lose 7th to this, but
right. They're very fortunate, honestly, that they're up against such a team that is separated from them so far in MMR. You know, if this was something where they were losing up against maybe a number 5 or 6 team, it would be a little bit different. Yeah,
that would definitely cause probably a bigger backslide than they would want. But I don't know. I think it's still going to hurt nonetheless. You know, I think their last performance, being a 10-7, taking a map away, and then coming back to just having a hard time putting up more than 1 point a map that's a loss, no matter how you slice it, right? That's just going to be a tough one to come back from. But by no means are they out yet. They do have map 3, which will be Quarantine, that they will have to fight through, and still the potential to salvage quite a bit of that juicy MMR here in this 3rd map. And now that they're a little loosey-goosey, the pressure's off, the last game of the season is all but cinched, maybe we'll see a little bit more, let's call it panache. I'm going to call it panache from the Mayhem side.
You know, I do wonder who's going to be 1st and 2nd. You know, I'm not. They're right now. They're tied in MMR. Beginners won, but they lost a map.
True.
So, and they were up against a ranked 19 team.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean,
embarrassing.
So to be clear for the folks at home who are relatively new to the league, potentially, they are tied for MMR visibly to league players. Yeah, there is an actual value assigned. It's not just flat 1200 or 1210 or whatever. There is a value in between. But yes, they were in the same sort of group, the same MMR range. Yeah, I would imagine they have been pretty close all season. They've sort of suffered the same fate. They've lost a couple of matches. Yeah. Both teams have lost a couple of matches. So it will be close, yeah. And really what that affects is who is in which seed,
Right.
You know, for round robin stages. But that can make a big difference. You know, you're potentially playing a whole different type of league team if you're in one or the other.
You know, I wonder if it's going to shake out like it did last time, where it was basically NA group and an EU group.
Yeah, that was so interesting. I mean, it's all random, you know, randomized seeds based on numerical values, and yeah, last season we did have that NA versus EU, which was, you know, kind of nice. It was like a sort of a final button cup for the season, and it was definitely fun to watch. But I mean, either way, honestly, I think we're gonna see some amazing games. I would just like to see, you know, personally as a player, not affecting anything, I just like to see those matchups that aren't common, the ones that don't happen, you know, NA-EU matchups, things like that. Like those are fun between teams that have never played, because that's where you see the real sort of shenanigans start to come out. But we are now into our third map.
Round 1 has begun. Mayhem on the offensive. And already losing one as Raph grabs one. Potato on a quick refag. Able to catch out Pants, and that's a super nice job from him. To be able to take out the rooftop like that, I mean...
Yeah, that is going to be the only problem is the res on the Mayhem side is going to be far more challenging. Losing Pants there. Pants sending a few more rounds down. Raph finally able to confirm that kill, so Mayhem will not have the opportunity, and Defilade pushes up.
Roof down. Roof is down.
Pants punishes, and Potato Bot finally finishes what he starts.
Well, hey, there might just be
Pants going down on the rooftop. Now is a 4v3. Mayhem still basically in spawn. I mean, this is such a rough situation, you know? I mean, this is such like a... You lost two, you've got one, and you made it 12 feet.
And this is round 1 in this series. Like, you're all, like, just really pushing them down right now.
What I'm you know, concerned about for Mayhem side is I hope they're not double counting Pants. I hope they're not counting 2 kills, right?
Sure.
And pushing off of that, because that is a very real danger. I don't know if they spotted out the res. Raph taking a couple of shots there from Potato. James and Mix about to hash it out. The flash comes out onto James. Doesn't look like it connects. Ooh, and Mix rotating to try to get that. He got a little aggressive on the defense. And Potato Bot punishes.
That is a super tight angle. Potato Bot was barely able to see the legs of him in that gap right there.
This is a fantastic play. James does get the confirm. That stops the flow of information, but Auto up top here on the roof could find James. I'm surprised they didn't actually spot him at the half wall there. He will now choose to back off the roof, and it's a 3v3 here in Quarantine Map 3.
Nice job of Mayhem answering back with a couple of kills of their own. Put them in still a bit of an awkward position, you know. To be stuck in that spawn is so hard to get out of. Potato Bot continuing to try and suppress Auto as James Balk maybe decides to rotate and challenge the rooftop. Why throw that smoke there, I wonder?
I would guess sound suppression. I would guess masking footsteps. But it doesn't matter either way, because Thunder Pilot will mask his footsteps forever. He goes down. Auto downed as well. Trying to get off that rooftop, I think. Potato just caught him.
Yeah, it looked like a plain wing shot.
Oh, is Potato going to keep holding the angle? Is Auto's calling this out? I mean, Raph could just pop up, grab Potato here. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I think Auto's going to do exactly that. Oh, he's got to be quick about it. Potato Bot made the corner. He does. Oh, that's so unfortunate. What a free kill that was for either of
I
them.
mean, yeah, both of them there crossing out in the open, so exposed. If Raph had peeked either angle, could have had himself a pair of kills. But now Mayhem's positioning themselves to potentially have one from the east and one from the west pinch in on the defense.
Yeah, so Potato Bot's got to be kind of patient here, or let the East develop a little bit, let it stew. Maybe find one pick, especially if Potato can win this engagement with Raph he's about to run into. Oh, we cannot. Potato Bot does go down, and now that just leaves Technic at the armored cars, pushing up this north wall. Have to deal with the pilot.
Little trade of fire, and he might actually catch the backside of Thunder. He does pick up one, and now Objective's pretty dang exposed. Oh, Technic can't get into the cover of the wall. You know, if he had been able to get up to that wall right by Objective, it really would have caused a panic underneath the Globochem defense, but unfortunately he can't make those moves happen, and Globo pushed their lead up on map 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what we've been seeing this whole game, is these like real close. You know, Mayhem gets to the 80%, they get to the 90%, they get almost all the way there, and then it just kind of peters out, you know? It doesn't quite have that sort of oomph to punch through and get them a lot of these round wins. And I honestly, I mean, maybe I'll take it to you for this, but I really can't seem to pinpoint where it is they're lacking. I mean, maybe coordination a little bit, but outside of that, I
think once they lose one or two, I think they have good plays. They've obviously practiced those plays, but I think when they lose one or two, they aren't communicating and trying to cover their gaps and refill those positions. You know, it's sort of like everybody's still designated onto their route. They're still going to go in the direction that they were going to go, and I just wonder if maybe communication when things don't start, stop working well for them is something that they can improve on. I'm not hearing a lot of comms come out of Mayhem.
Yeah, I have not been sticking super close.
I don't think I have either, now that I think about it. But, I mean, you hear, no matter where you are with a Globochem player, you're hearing them talk. You know what I mean? So it's just to that point that I just don't know if the communication is really coming out of Mayhem.
Sure. I did hear a good amount, but mostly it was very, very specific to a scenario. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of, like... I mean, I'm not saying there should be exposition between players on your team, but it's mostly like, one down or moving the here.
Okay.
It's very short, concise type of communication. They're trying to keep it open, which is definitely a good idea. You don't want random nonsense in your ear while you're trying to listen for enemies. But yeah, like you said, Globochem feeds information
nonstop
all the time.
Yeah,
just all the time.
Care about open comms. Potato Bot almost grabs one, but there's the quick duck saving.
Oh, that aggression is unnecessary. Potato Bot pushing out onto the roof, standing up straight without cover, runs right into the approaching Globochem offense, and just like that, it's a 4v5. That is the kind of thing you just can't do versus Globo. You can't underestimate their ability to make that pick at range.
Yeah, it's probably just a little bit of a result of the situation. Mayhem maybe feeling a little bit not in the dumps, but you just kind of throw caution to the wind once you've lost a series like that.
I mean, it is fun. Like I definitely don't blame them for it. I've been on the other end of games like this. What's funny is, I am one of those players who will also, because you start to feel like cooped up.
Yeah.
You almost get like cabin fever, just sitting there defending him. Like, I can't move. I'm so scared. I don't know where to go. They're gonna shoot me in a minute. Sometimes you just want to run out there and take a shot or two. So I do get it, but still hard to watch, from that bird's eye view. 3 members of Globo making it up here to the east side of rooftop already. I mean, we're less than a minute and a half in, and they're already knocking on the door of this objective.
It moves so fast off that first pick, and Raf's in a position now where, like he said, he needs another smoke, and I wonder if they could get that smoke to deny vision from James, if Raf can just prone his way up to objective and go unnoticed.
James is the problem. James is...
Not anymore.
James is no longer the problem. James' problem has been solved. Now Defilade will be the one.
Not a problem. Also solved.
Also... I'm just going to say the names of Mayhem players, and I'm going to see how quickly...
Wookie? He might be up next if he peeks that gap.
Raf has kind of given up on this crawl thing, but I was curious if he was going to try to do that.
Yeah.
That would have been I mean, honestly, it probably would have worked at this stage if they'd have just... I don't know, the timing would have been a little rough. They're keeping that 2-story suppressed, though. Thunder Pilot keeping them on the inside. Raphael now just rushing the objective. Is Wookie going to be able to hear this? I don't think he hears.
No.
Oh, boy.
You know what? He was actually shooting at Thunder from across, and then he just happened to see Wookie in his line of sight and got that kill as well.
Ooh, that grenade from Pants almost ended the whole thing. All the shots are coming in from 2 different angles. Wookie has got just pressure on pressure here. He's able to save 1 cap, but can he save the overall round here? Wookie pushes out, likely flashed there, and Pants will find the kill.
I think he actually baited those comms out, because who is he talking to, right? He knows
Right.
everybody's dead, and he said, I'm flash. So I think he was trying to get a false sense of security on Pants. It almost worked. You saw Pants drop his gun for a second there, but not enough.
Yeah, not nearly enough for what they need here, and Mayhem now going to be approaching the rooftop courtyard objective. They're going to be changing things up a little bit. They do need to find something here. They need to start finding those points, soften the blow a little bit. Like I'd said earlier, right at the top of the cast, the last thing they want is a 15 and low number. Insert low number here.
Right.
So they've got to be careful here in letting Globo sort of keep this rhythm. They need to put a couple more points on the board, preferably 3 or 4, to really soften that. Because I don't know. The fact that we can't see true numbers on that MMR makes this really kind of like a roll of the dice.
Right.
It is. You never know, and usually on map 3, when you've lost and it's the end of the season, you kind of want to give up. But this is like one of those very few scenarios where you're like, no, you gotta just put in 120 every map. You cannot give up hope here. And I have faith in Mayhem. I mean, we have seen their quarantine play. It is next level. They've got the strategies. They've got the coordination. They're just not, I don't know. Maybe they changed their plans, or they're adjusted for Globochem's play style, and maybe they overcorrected. Who knows? But need to find something here as the 3rd round gets underway. I'm seeing Technic with the silenced scoped weapon. What's interesting to me, and I don't know, I haven't really paid attention to the loadouts as well as I should have, but Defilade is running a machine gun. He's running the SA-80, and that's such a strange thing to see. He was the sniper for this team. Oh, he's still the sniper for this team as Thunder Pilot finds the wrong end of that gun, and Defilade finds the down there. Will likely be a res, though, as there is a teammate nearby. But it's just so strange to not see him with like a 12x MC. It's like seeing Arsenic without a sniper on quarantine. It's like, what? What could you possibly be doing? But, it translates well. He's able to find one early down there.
Rez coming in onto that individual, but Tech with a quick sniper shot taps both of them.
And there it is.
There's your sniper.
Yeah, Defilade, don't worry about it. You've got Technic on your side. Technic was the other sniper, to be fair.
He's dead.
Mayhem looking good on this Marsoc round. A trade going down in the center. Potato is still reservable, as is Raph. So columns open for both players. Mix catching James on the rotation to get the res. We'll see if Pants gets picked off on this rotation as well.
Definitely does get the confirm. Pants rotating in. Are we going to see another double confirm? Nate, a little too far. Oh, you only get one of those a match, Pants. He does find the kill, and he goes for the reload out in the open. Defilade able to clean that up, make it a 3v1. Now just Mix. Holding this objective, Mayhem might be able to find the thing they're looking for, and then nade! Oh my freaking goodness, NightFiree. Defilade catching the nade of Mixologist.
We got a little bit of time in this round now. 3:20 left on the clock. The final two members of Mayhem are way in the south, so it's going to take them a bit of time to work their way over to Defilade to get the res, and then eventually towards objective. If Mix exposes himself too much by peeking any of these corners. He has a lot to worry about.
Yeah, they've got plenty of time here. I would imagine they're going to go for this res, as I certainly would. They have just about accurate count, if I'm not mistaken. They should have... Yeah, they should have accurate count, so they know one is left. Technic going to find a nice mid-range weapon. Swap out. Oh, nope. Never mind. He gave up on it. He doesn't like it. What is this? It doesn't have a 12x?
I wonder why he's not getting that res off on a Defilade right now.
I don't think they have any idea where Mix is. I mean, that nade came basically out of the clear blue sky as far as Defilade is concerned. So caution is wise, and especially if you've got a little bit of time left. But now they've got 2 minutes. They need to find their approach here. The smoke's coming out. They're okay. I like how sometimes the casters we're like smoke judges.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, that's like an 8.3.
Great angle. Great angle. 10 out of 10.
America's Next Top Smoke and Technic. Speaking of America's Next Top Smoke, smokes Mixologist with the headshot on objective, and Mayhem will go up 1 point. We'll go 2-1 here now. Stopping the bleeding a little bit. Can they find the momentum to carry them through map 3? We will just have to wait and find out, though.
Certainly tell you that a cap is probably on the minds of Globochem here, so if they're not tight on OBJ, I think things could go awry for Mayhem. I certainly expect Globochem maybe even play this a la beginners and sort of take their time and encircle the objective and then really douse it with smokes and try and make their approach from all angles.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore, honestly. I'm along for this ride. It has been a wild ride with these two teams. I mean, the score has not really done it any sort of justice in terms of individual play. But I think this one is very spawn dependent. You know, I think the smoke dump play is very good if you get center or north. I think you have to find a different, slower, more methodical approach if you get something in the south. So I think it is going to depend on which side Globo will get. Ooh, those beeps are in. The teams are spawning, and it's like the crater spawn is going to be Globochem's approach. So I wonder if we're going to see that. Sort of cheeky little hangout for 4 minutes and then run in play that we've seen a few times. It doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah. No, they are doing it. They are indeed doing it.
For a minute.
Pants.
Did they see you?
Pants did not get the memo.
Yeah, kind of jutted out there.
Just for a minute.
Like 60 seconds for holding you to that, Otto. They are going to hold their positions and try to cause a little confusion, but I would be surprised if at least one of the members of Mayhem was not watching the last couple of matches Globochem had here. We'll see if anybody has the heads up play on Raph here as he crosses the street.
If anybody has line of sight there.
I don't know what they're shooting. I can see one.
Yeah, the rooftop and rooftop courtyard would be the only two positions most likely to catch him out, but he is now quickly getting into a safe area before anybody's able to get him. So South is going to be his to roam for a while, as there is no defender looking at the overhead map pointing their little person arrow down to the south.
Negative.
Again, Pants reacting to that explosion. There's an explosion, and milliseconds later, Pants is asking, "Hey, Otto, is that your grenade?" I mean, like, this is... They know everything about what's happening on this battlefield.
Oh, how did that not kill Defilade?
Potato Bot finds Pants. And that is a big pickup here for Potato. 4v5, the nade comes out. Oh, a little depressingly short. A second one comes up and over, also misses. Otto saved by what looks like a pretty small lip in the hill there. Potato Bot pushing out, aggressive, punished by Mixologist. A little overconfident on that peak. Defilade finds the refrag though, and Thunder shuts it all down, making it a 3v3. A real sort of tit for tat situation there for a minute. I do kind of wish that either of those nades would have found a down. I'm surprised that did not pan out. And now the offense going to take a little bit of time to get further set up. They're going to leave Thunder on the roof. Otto here rotating to the two-story.
Wonder if they're going to try and make a cap approach. Certainly the right way to do it would be to come in from the north, considering Wookie and James are really the only ones on objective. It'll take a long time for whoever's over on the west to rotate over to OBJ if they lose on objective defenders. There is some angles that they can tuck into and punch in the code there.
I think Raph is going to be that play for them, but he does have to deal with Technic up in the Volk Twins first. I mean, not to mention the folks on the objective, but Technic's got the sort of overwatch. James here could be in trouble, though. He's very exposed. Raph, luckily, not able to spawn him out just yet.
That plane actually covering James from the angle that Raph's looking for, and what Raph's plan of action is from this position.
Otto does find one, making it a 3v2. Wookie going down on that north side coverage. James with the frag onto Thunder is going to make it a 2v2. Otto now returning fire, and James's position is going to be known. The frag is coming out. Technic rotating down through to OBJ. Raph not able to catch that. Oh, he does as he gives up on that wall. I'm surprised he didn't continue to stay there, but that makes it a 1v2 now. All up to James, and Otto's calling out James's position from basically not even looking at him, just from memory. Oh, Otto does spot out James, and there it is. The kill comes out. Globochem will take at Marsoc round and a third point in this third map.
Strong moves coming in there from the teams.
I feel like if Technic had just committed to that wall, he might have had the drop on at least one of those, on either Auto or Raph. I don't think either of them expected someone at that wall. Not that they would have necessarily not checked it, but maybe would have had an opportunity to get the pick. But I'm just confused as to why he decided to rotate back towards the west. It just seemed like a, well, you know what, caster vision is a real thing. So we will see what happens here, as Mayhem now has to mount the offensive of their lives if they want to stay in this map. Series already gone to Globochem, but Mayhem would love some points. Now the objective has shifted as well. It will be in the center burning courtyard.
Yeah, this is a do or die for Mayhem. Well, not really. They've already lost the series, but map number 3 going to the way of Globochem if they cannot up a couple of rounds in a row, and they're gonna have to take a Marsoc round at that. They do get that fast spawn up north. We'll see if they can apply some quick pressure.
All right, it is going to be the relatively quick spawn here, and the shots will ring out early. Wookie not landing those shots onto Raph will give the position away from the offense nice and early, just like I'm sure Globochem would appreciate.
They're not really focusing their efforts west, though. They're more directing their attention over to the east.
Yeah, they've just got the one there. Is that Thunder Pilot watching the 2-story? A couple of smokes coming out towards Black APC, and the check nade will come out as a response. Defilé does make the cross, but just so. As 2 or 3 members of Globo watching that angle now. Wookie. Funny placement for that smoke right on top of that APC, and should give him enough coverage to get past Auto, sending a few more rounds down. Good lord, why is Wookie a glutton for punishment? He's just running across these sight lines over and over. The nades coming out. No love there. Wookie getting his frag out into the tank courtyard, Raph. Backing off of that. And we're still in a 5v5 here.
Potato Bot's looking for those shots onto Raph. Auto grabbing out Wookie, getting a little aggressive. Like some shots from Thunder, too. Technic able to grab one. James fragging Thunder on that backside, getting a little aggressive on the rotation, and Mayhem now 4v3.
Ooh, Auto finds Defilade now, and that sort of mid-push has fallen apart. I wonder if Technic's approach in the south is noted. I haven't seen any indicator from Globochem that they've noticed this cross. That pick onto Auto was from that south, from Technic, who is now crossing into the south. Or, no, I'm sorry, not Auto. The other player, Raphael. Raphael. I know player names. Yeah, that pick onto Raph was from the south street, so he wasn't able to get the call out in. And I don't think they would know that it was coming from that side, but we will see here. The one I think most in Well, as I say it, he rotates it. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Everyone is safe. James does find Pants on that push. Technic will find Auto as well from the south, and now Mix all by himself. Has to try to save this round. Does find one. Makes it a 1v2. Smoke's coming in. Ooh, a good bounce. What a good bounce that was. And good coverage. The nade coming up and over. James tucked in. Oh, wow. And the nice aggressive push will end any possible cap attempts there by Mayhem. Probably the exact reason for that push by Mix. Make it a 2v3. So the first time Mayhem puts 2 points on to a map is here in map 3, but I'm sure they're wiping their brow, right? You know, like, oh,
yeah. Very sweaty.
It is definitely, I mean, great plays there. Technic, definitely the star of the show with that scoped rifle. Finding Raph and Auto on some very nice long-range picks. Mix was in danger there for a little bit as well, but in the end, Mayhem able to squeeze out a little bit more from this game. Can they defend this objective, though? If Globochem gets a cap here, it would negate, more or less negate winning that round. So they've got to make sure they're not just giving away free objectives. But at the same time, taking it to a 3-3 here would also not hurt.
Yeah, I would things a little bit less nerve-wracking for them, but at this point, yeah, it's not going to do too much for the situation they have found themselves in. They've already lost the Furies, and now it's going to come down to if they can defend this round against another crater spawn for Globochem. You think they're going to do it again?
You put it in the Discord on random.
I don't think so. I'm going to say... well, let's just say it this way. I hope they don't. I think at this point it would not be that surprising to anyone if they just wait. You know, and that is why I think they probably take their time. Yeah. They took a couple of shots early there.
Some angles you're vulnerable to right away, and definitely able to grab Auto trying to rotate.
I got one. Oh, there's a lamppost.
They have just confirmed that Auto is down and out.
Yes, Casters, I am getting very peaky on these stairs.
Now we're gonna see how Pants and Mix approach this rooftop. They've got to deal with White Car on that Overwatch defilade peeking the hill.
From the mall or from...
A little too tucked in to be able to spot it. Don't know if he caught Pants crossing there. Doesn't look like it. Potato Bot will find Thunder as he pushes through, and Mayhem looking good on this defense. You're in map 3. Pants.
He's dead. Shot in the head. Dead.
Find the first kill.
Make sure there's not another. No. Okay.
Pants might get shot in the side here if he's not ready for it.
And a little fast and loose. Mix trying to keep him on track, but doesn't every team have a Pants though, you know? Isn't that just isn't that just the case? Yeah, Mixologist able to ID defilade there. The nade coming out on that call out as well from Pants lands a little too short. And now the shots have given it away. Mix and Pants both looking for the pick. I mean, they are hungry for it. The nade comes up and over. It's a little too long. Now, will Mix be ready for this? Defilade will likely re-peek this north. They're just millimeters away from each other, and Pants' fire draws Defilade away. He could have seen Mix there. And that is just timing, timing, timing. You know, that's just, there was no way he knew to do that. But just those sending those shots down definitely saved his teammate's life right there. Nick's just taking his time, playing it slow. Here's him. He pushes the advantage, does find the kill.
Now they're into a 3v3. Just to see what exactly is about to happen here. James able to deny Mix in approach. Also aware of the rooftop position, but are they aware of Raf?
Yeah. I just caught him in my sights as well. The shots ring out. Technic going down to that. James should now be aware of Raf's approach. Will he peek this wall in time? He's going to have to deal with Wookie and James at the same time. Smoke's coming out. James pops the other wall, does find the kill. Now it's a 2v1. Just Pants on the roof left.
He wants Wookie. I think he's going to try and get the shots onto Wookie inside rubble from this rooftop corner. Then maybe he'll try and make his move. Slowly running out of time. Minute 40 left for him. As soon as he looks away, Wookie peeks it. Pants sees that happen and is frustrated that he's lost the angle. Doesn't see Wookie there. Oh.
Not quite what he wanted there.
It was an incredibly tight shot to be landing, so not surprised that he couldn't get it, but
I feel like Pants should have had like a deer blind for that one. That's what that felt like. He was
Yeah.
just kind of wait, you know, peek your head up.
Yep.
Just take a sip from the stream. Unfortunately there, nature not going his way as Wookie stays very smartly tucked in, and that smoke is just fantastic.
well, it's getting buried. It actually has
Oh,
a terrible
yeah.
rotation. Oh,
Yeah.
it does kind of help him. I don't know. It's like it's a decent.
Is it still moving? I think it's still moving or something. Okay, there we go. It's come to rest now. Good Lord.
It's doing what it's supposed to do.
He's got 20 seconds, though. Pants needs to do what he's supposed to do, and that is find this kill and James. In 15 seconds, Wookie a little too exposed. Pants rotating 10 seconds. Can he find?
Is he aware of time? He's not aware of his time.
He's not aware of time at all. 5 seconds is up. And that is going to be a Mayhem point, ladies and gentlemen.
Interesting.
And we're taking it to the series decider. Mayhem getting exactly what they needed here. A little bit of a saving grace. Pants taking a little too long to try to find the deer on the stream and not being cognizant of the overall round timer will give Mayhem a little bit of cushion for the blow that they just received. And we are into our map decider here in map 3. Globochem on the defense. It is going to be the, I don't know the call out for anybody who isn't Blaze, but
I really don't know who's going to be first and second now. Such a toss-up with these last couple of series we've had against beginners in Globo.
Yeah, we will see how it shakes out pretty soon. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight for sure. But that is only one facet. You know, only where you place on the ladder. The championship itself, of course, will decide the overall first place of the season.
Good for placements. Still got to beat out the top tier talent, which is fun to spectate. That's going to be going on the wild card next weekend. Weekend after that is group stage, and then semifinals and finals. This month is really the finale of, I think, what's been our longest running season in VRML.
Yeah, for Onward especially, it has been little like 3 months and a little bit of change here and there.
14 weeks.
Yeah, we are going to... I feel like a lot of teams are going to be happy for the break. We got a lot to unpack with this new update. as we prep for the next season. So be happy to have a little rest, a little R&R the holiday season. But the work never ends when you're playing Onward. That's for sure.
Work? You mean the fun?
Sure. That's what I said. I said the same thing. Are we not saying the same word, NightFiree? That's so weird.
Ooh, look at this. Some aggression on the west. Raph may find Wookiee, or Wookiee will find Raph.
That's such a small little, it's like a tiny little slot in the in the wall to try to pick somebody off through. Raph not ready for it there. And could cost them this map. Would this be the second is it quarantine that Mayhem took away from Global last time? I think it was. If I'm not mistaken. So this would be the second time Mayhem would beat Globo on quarantine, which is kind of one of Globo's maps. I mean, just, you know, generally speaking, one of their stronger choices.
I feel like maybe they let up just a little bit those last few rounds. I saw Pants getting a little bit over aggressive, hunting for those kills. Raph also getting pretty dang aggressive on both the last few rounds.
One dead, far left. There's a body dead.
Well,
far
some
left.
shots there will take the west down. Now it's all up to Defilade to hold the west side.
Watch it.
Over yonder in the center, though. Like Potato Bot's getting real close to the action.
Yeah, he's really only got that one defender between him and the objective, and Pants, with his sheer volume, the volume of his voice, will definitely give him away. Potato Bot should be aware. Just gotta let this play develop. Mayhem definitely wants this. They're not gonna rush through it, but they don't have a ton of time. 3 minutes left, and Potato does find the down, does not have the sight on the confirm, and could be a res. Would be a pretty challenging one for Auto, but Thunder Pilot should be able to quickly pick this up. He's just across. Got to make that. He is safe for that. 2 members of Mayhem now pushing this north street. As Potato Bot gets up into the courtyard, he's going to have to deal with Pants here pretty soon. Pants just holding that tight angle.
Yeah, he's going to force the full commit into this building. But he's actually got a pretty dang good line of sight also to the ambulance, just in case anybody's going to be flanking from the south and peeking up over that little gap in the wall.
Potato Bot's probably singing to himself, if I only had a frag.
Yeah.
You know, just try. It's like he knows he's in here. He's heard the call outs. He's making the call out, trying to bait out Pants. Pants says, come and get it. He's not going to give himself away for nothing. And Potato Bot now rotating right into the trap. Oh, he is quick on the shot. Does find Pants and makes it a 4v3 with 1:40 left. Now Potato Bot's going to be able to wreak a little bit of havoc if Thunder Pilot doesn't finish him up. Ooh, Thunder doesn't seem to have caught him. He's now rotating through the south side, and the havoc is in. Mix going down.
Yeah, he's right here on the inside of this, to my right.
To those shots, Potato Bot calling out Auto's position as well. Thunder, the only one really left to provide good overwatch. Yep, and he's gone. James will find that kill. Now it's just all up to Auto, and it's not going to be enough as Potato Bot finds a series of kills there and gets Mayhem their come from behind. Map 3 win, exactly what they needed in this series.
Very nicely done to rally back from a tough early two map in a row loss. And I mean, even then they were down 3-1 at one point in this map. So certainly a nice comeback mounted at the hands of Mayhem. That'll cap the series. The overall scoreline being 11-6. So yeah, they definitely stopped some bleeding. They were suffering some tough losses the first couple maps, and they were tough, but they were also still well played. They were pretty close in the most part.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that is they were coming down to the wire, and it was always these sort of like swing plays that would happen. A lot of times Mayhem was holding the advantage. And you know, you had that play by Pants in Tanker for 3 kills. You had the double confirm also by Pants. Oh, you see, it feels like Pants has been swinging the situation a lot.
He's back.
But there were quite a few different plays that ended up like that, where Mayhem was holding the upper hand, and then they weren't. And I think that they finally sort of got their heads around it, map 3, and they found those long picks that they needed. And I think that's where that team thrives, right? Is those long maps, those long range engagements. And we saw exactly that this time around. But yeah, good series overall.
I think with that, we'll wrap it up for this season. That is it for the regular season of Season 8.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's so weird doing the final of anything on any season. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic season overall. We had a lot of interesting stuff in Season 8. We had the top teams taking regular losses. I mean, not super regular, but losses nonetheless. Things that have not happened in several seasons. Things that have not happened. We saw quite a few player changes. We saw Globochem pick up 2 new players. We saw beginners shift their roster a little bit. Just all kinds of crazy stuff at the top. We saw mid-level play that was fantastic. We saw bronze tier team play that was fantastic. I mean, all across the board, this season has been phenomenal in terms of just the action that we have been able to watch. What are your thoughts? What are your sort of how do you feel Season 8 went in general?
I think the skill gap's really been tightened up this season in particular. It's going to be exciting to tune in and watch the wild card, you know, especially just because you are going to get a lot of those unorthodox plays that teams will have practiced. You know, they're definitely going to. I know some of these squads in the center of the rankings are going to be trying to break out some new and intuitive plays that'll help them get that extra edge. And at the same time, I can guarantee you're going to see it out of the top teams as well. So everything from the wild card to the finals should be pretty dang engaging. I'm really looking forward to the next couple of weekends of Onward.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic to watch. I think Challenger Cup is going to be the next thing coming up, as NightFiree said earlier, will be this coming weekend. So do not stray too far from your PCs or your headsets. We'll be coming at you with lots of Onward here pretty dang soon.
I think that will be it for us here, though, for Season 8 and for us here on Master League 1. My name is Oh, if you do want to head and get involved in the league, you're a little late for this season, but it's a good time to start prepping and get ready for the next season, Season 9. Head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward. You can register for a team. You'll find the Discord, the Twitter, the Twitch links, everything to get you involved into this sweet, sweet esport goodness. And if Onward's not your bag, we got a couple of other games available for you. Echo Arena's just starting their preseason now. And we have Final Assault, as well as Space Junkies, Contractors, Pavlov, covering all the competitive scenes. So if you want to get involved, head on over to vrmasterleague.com. That'll be it for me here on the desk. My name is NightFiree, my co-caster Noman with a 4. And we'll see you next weekend for the wild card.
Have a good one, folks.